Here we are. I'm Vince Polito. This is the Purpose and Power Talk. Conversations on transformation. I'm here with Heidi McGuirk. She is a relationship coach and specialist. She helps people heal from dysfunctional and toxic relationships. And her goal is really empowerment through radical self-acceptance and self-love practices. So Heidi, I'm excited to have you here to be on the show. I'm looking forward to really digging into more of what you do. You're welcome. And why don't we just dive right into that, what I just shared about who you are. You'll tell me more and tell everyone who's watching a little bit more about what you do, how you do it, and why you do it.
I started off many, many years ago as like a business consultant. I was going to be that kind of a coach. And then as time went on, my passion was always with relationships, so I was like, I'd be studying relationships on the side and trying to, because that was always where my interest would take me. But so then after a while, I left kind of corporate and became a relationship coach. But the reality was, like, I realized a lot of what I was teaching, I didn't buy. Like, a lot of the strategies that people were teaching were like how to catch them and keep them, how to manipulate people into relationship. Back in those days, but there was like a lot of, really insecure men getting books on, like, there was this whole underground movement of like a secret society of how to get chicks.
Yeah.
So like back in the day, that was really big.
Yeah.
And women were talking about how to do your feminine energy and so like, I was running a matchmaking company in Beverly Hills. I had a celebrity clientele. I was very successful, but behind closed doors, even though I believed in all those tactics, I was still in a very toxic and dysfunctional relationship. I was in a relationship with somebody that really only wanted me when I was breaking up with him. I didn't want the men that wanted me. I wanted the ones that reflected back my own lack of self-worth at the time. I didn't understand that's what was happening then. But it was like all that stuff that I was teaching was like a Band-Aid on a flesh wound. And in 2008, the economy crashed and my matchmaking company kind of went defunct. We had offices all over North America, but things kind of tanked. And I was just kind of left with this relationship that had failed. As it turns out, I was really unhappy and self-medicating. So I was binge drinking. I was a binge drinker and an eating disorder. And it's like, I just finally had to come to Jesus. Like, here I am helping people get love. I'm looking like I'm successful. I have the bags, I have the stuff, I have the title. But at the end of the day, I'm hungover. I'm anxious. I'm depressed. I'm lonely. I'm sad. And it's like now or never. I need to authentically get my stuff together. I curse. Yes. I'm not going to do it. It's fine. But I have to get my stuff together, And so that's when I really realized, what is it that I really want? What I don't want to settle for. And I started like moving my work more into the self-love arena because I knew that was the answer. It's just that nobody was really teaching how to do that. They were all teaching like how to get a manicure or bath bomb or like, put a Band-Aid.
Not the inner work, so to speak, right?
Not the real inner work. And I needed to heal. I needed to stop my self-medicating. I needed to stop the dysfunctional, toxic self-sabotage loop that I was in. And so from there, my own desire to really heal from a traumatic, toxic childhood, lots of abuse, lots of dysfunction, alcoholism, and lots of different things that I had that weren't healed, that I was just overcompensating for with success instead of really like trying to fill up the void of feeling like
I know.
broken, damaged goods, So I realized there was like an actual system. There was an actual self-love system. And I found that I had these 7 different kind of disciplines that I started to practice in my own life. And once I really started to practice those, I turned my life around. And it's one thing if you can turn your life around, right? Because everybody turns their life around. It's another thing if you can help other people with the same methodology. And so once I got sober and was rooted in my recovery and in my value, I started teaching this system at one of the world's leading drug and alcohol treatment centers. And day in and day out for 7 years, I was in there teaching these philosophies, and I was a resident life coach there at the treatment center on a team of clinicians, master level psychologists, psychiatrists. And then I was realizing, I'm onto something. This works, right? The clients were healing, and they're really toxic. They're really toxic relationships, but they were able to
Yeah.
untangle, untether, make sense of their
Mm.
past, stop repeating the patterns. And for me, it was really about helping them get on track because they're their children, right? I wanted to help them break the cycle. I didn't want them transposing that toxicity onto their children, and their children are codependent in their. So I feel like I'm on a mission now, really,
Wow.
you know, to heal what's been done, but to also really prevent from the next generation.
Wow.
Like, so that's it.
Really, really love that. Really do.
Thanks.
So that's really amazing, Heidi. I relate to your story a lot, including the drinking and, looking for love in all the wrong places, I guess I would say, and not really having it inside myself. And even the last few years, I've still been nurturing that part of myself that really I rejected and denied myself. For me, it was watching my mother be abused by my stepfather. That was a moment where a powerful decision against me was made, where I was a coward. I wasn't strong enough. I couldn't protect my mom. Therefore, I'm not good enough. I had some image in my mind that I was supposed to be her protector at 10, 11 years old. And I just felt so ashamed. And that led me into drugs and gangs and then crime and, the dream to be a mafia kingpin, which was my version of covering up,
Right.
The wound that I felt, right? Like your version was slightly different, but that's the game I was playing. But it was still all compensation, trying to be tough and look tough, all running from the shame and emptiness I felt inside and the lack of love for myself. So I deeply relate to what you're sharing. And I really think that, it's one thing to transform yourself, like you said, but then to really apply that to other people, especially in the recovery business. I work in that dimension as well. And they're the most toxic relationships to self, God, and other inside of that domain. And I just really acknowledge you for what you're doing today with that, what you discovered there, what you were able to apply there, and the success that you're able to create there. I think it's beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'd like to hear a little bit more about the self-love system that you say consists of 7 vows. And in each vow, there are lessons and disciplines. We don't have to get into all the details, but I'd love, maybe you could just hit those 7 vows so we could get a taste of that.
Well, I don't have time to go through all of them, but I'll just give you an example of a couple of them that'll kind of help flesh that out a little bit. So one of the vows that we have is I release and trade righteousness for reality.
Mm.
And so within that is everybody's a righteous person. We all know right from wrong. We all have how things are supposed to go, but that righteousness is what keeps us, it steals our peace, right? It steals our peace of mind. It makes us crazy. And so I really help people take those past relationships. This one vow, within this one vow is a whole discipline of other lessons, right? So it's simple, but it is a complex, it's easier said than done, right? You need the strategies to be able to actually let it go. So it's one thing to say I can release. It's another thing to know exactly how to do that. So I created a methodology. What I would find was, I'd have a group for an hour with these clients, and I'd pull them up into the hot seat and do an intervention in front of everybody, right? Where they would share their pain. And that was what I did at the treatment center. I was interventions in front of people. And I facilitated about 1,600 of those, where in the seat throughout this 7 years I was there, people would say they hold on to these resentments, right? They hold on to these stories about the righteousness and this shouldn't have happened this way. And then that's why I am the way I am. And so what I help people do, I learned within that treatment center, how to create a process to help people trade the righteousness for reality, to see the situation in a way they have never seen it before. So they're free. I mean, I know you do similar work with NLP, and my husband's a master practitioner of NLP too. So I understand we all have our modalities, right? My gift is being able to help people see their life a beautiful mind when all the numbers would flip forward. I have people give me the details of their life, and then a combination lock, I give them they see the framework of everything. They see it probably for the first time. So it's the light bulb goes off in a way that has never before, and they see their whole history differently. They see the
Yep.
whole thing differently. And it's
Absolutely.
such a gift. I mean, Carl Jung said that, right? The greatest gift you can give people is to make sense of their past.
Yes.
And that's really what I help people do, is make sense of it. And then even though the bad thing happened, now we still have to learn how to reparent ourselves, right? So the rest of the vows are about reparenting. It's really about being the thing that you wanted the most. And like, so one of the other vows would be, I meet my own needs. Sounds simple. My clients don't even know what they need. They're so used to telling everybody else giving everybody else what they need, right? The codependency is just like, or denying their needs. I don't need anything. I'm fine. I'm perfect. And so cultivating the ability to recognize what you need, what you want, what you really desire is an art. And then how do I actually give myself permission to have the thing that I really want? So each vow is specific to my client's unique set of problems that they have. Each vow corresponds to a unique problem that they have.
Love that. I love the way you articulated everything. And,
thanks.
Yeah, totally. Like, bringing the unconscious conscious is a big part of the work that I do as well. And I really, you get the value of that, helping people make sense of their past, because it seems senseless in the moment when they're going through something it's painful, it's traumatic. They're wanting to run, to flee maybe, or maybe they want to fight, but they can't. And the nervous system is just in this conflicted state, and it just lands in the body. I do a lot of work inside of the body as well. And you probably connect to people in their physiology and their physical conditions and sensations as well, because the trauma and the things that they go through in life actually leave traces. And, when we bring that subconscious content forward, it allows them to actually refile it into conscious memory versus that subconscious domain where there's reactions and that stimulus response mechanism of the brain. And that's where I see what you're doing is really you're helping them to shine light of awareness. That's what we mean by light, right? The awareness. You're making them aware of the source, where it came from. And then from there, now that it's like in the foreground, they can repair or reparent, you said, themselves, because the idea is that I wasn't parented well, or I wasn't taken care of, my need wasn't met, or something like that is what I'm hearing and what you're saying. So you're actually like pulling all that hidden content to view, and then helping them work through that, make sense of that. And so they have like a new story of their history.
Exactly. And they have that where the body keeps score and the trauma lives in the body.
Yes.
They actually have those trauma bonds. So they don't realize like that why do I keep picking that same person? Why do I keep sabotaging that relationship? And it's the trauma bond. And there's no consciousness to that at all.
Right.
So we help identify what the trauma bonds are, where they originate, so that we can undo them. But yes, it really is about a reparenting for sure.
Really beautiful stuff. So was that the first vow, or do you take them in sequence, or it depends on their situation?
So it depends on their situation, where we start and where we go. They can go, if they come to a retreat, they're going to go through them sequentially. If I work privately one-on-one, we're going to meet them where they are and work through, they'll rise and find their way. I have an online program where they go through them, I take them through the system. But the thing about the vows is they're not meant to be like did you do step one?
Right.
So it's I believe like everything is full circle, right? Everything is a rhythm. Everything follows the rhythms and the cycles and the circles. And so they kind of like do this with each other. If they're all kind of moving in this beautiful concert together. But I know that if I'm having a relapse or a trauma bond or something's going on, that likely I can look at these 7 vows and point out which one I've not been obeying, not been obedient to, not been disciplined in. And so it's really meant to be more like a spiritual practice that it's not for people that have, like when I was recovering, Vince, I didn't want to do traditional methods. Traditional programs didn't line up with me. I didn't identify with a lot of the philosophies. And so I really wanted to create a different way. Like everybody has their Tao, right? Like the Tao Te Ching, everybody has their own unique Tao, right?
Yes.
And so this is a Tao. This is just a way to recover. There are many, many paths to Rome, but if people have been looking for like a different way, traditional methods that don't really follow the the path, they're a little oppositional. They want to do their
Yeah.
own thing. I can relate. That was me. And that's why I created this. There's
That's
a lot
really
of
awesome.
flexibility in it. It's fluid. It's not rigid. It flows. That's how I like to be.
I love that. I have a question then that will help us get even a better picture of what you're doing. What is, maybe pick someone, like, what's one of the most radical transformations you've seen in a client? Like, where was that person? And, you started working with them, and then what did you see happen after that?
The main theme for everybody is literally there are people that are everybody has one thing in common. They're all usually very smart. Okay. They're very successful. They've reached a certain level of success, but what underneath of it all is there's this underlying feeling like they're a fraud. At any minute, they're going to be found out. So there's an overcompensation, and where that lack of security or that lack of self-esteem shows up mostly for my clients is in their relationships. So they'll get into relationships with people that they need to fix, or where they can put their focus. They tolerate abuses that they wouldn't normally tolerate. So the biggest transformation I see is them fully stepping into their power, not tolerating the things that they've been tolerating or settling for anymore. So the relationships get transformed many, many times. They end up exiting the relationships, right? They end up like kind of moving on, feeling more empowered, and then attracting and creating the relationships they really desire and deserve. So I see a lot of that. Initially, they come to me to kind of hold it together. Teach me how to be with the asshole. Teach me how to be in this relationship, abusive relationship. Teach me how to get this guy to commit to me who's cheating on me, right? You see the
Yes.
Teach me how to get this person to be less abusive to me. Teach me how to get this person to stop using drugs or drinking too much, right? But then it's like, what's my piece? Do I want to be in this? How do if I don't have any control, do I want to be here? Many of my clients have navigated not just their relationships. It's like they move from area to area. They'll start with their relationships, and then they'll transfer that over. They'll negotiate bigger contracts. Many of them end up leaving positions they're in. And so it's just like that root gets planted in the self-esteem. It usually starts with relationships, and that's where you'll see the transformation, but it permeates every area of their life. Usually they move on to other things, but my specialty is we start there.
Got it. So it sounds like you're also saying that they could be in an abusive relationship with their work setting or scenario.
Any relationship that's toxic or dysfunctional, that they're coming to learn how to do a better job at it.
Got it.
And then they go, oh my God, why am I in this?
So you're helping them uncover like what's motivating them to maintain that
their
situation from the
trauma
exactly.
bonds.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
And they don't even know that's what it is. They have no idea that's why they're coming in. Then we get to the root. Then they go, holy shit, the light's on. I'll never settle again for anything less than I deserve. Because once that light comes on, you start looking around and you go, man, I've really been settling. They are so good at putting up with dysfunction. They're coming to me to be better at it.
Well, I really understand that.
Yeah.
That's definitely part of my story and my background. Yeah. My marriage was that way. Even
just
my last relationship. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like really just create, overlaying my own love and my own, whatever, tolerating so much that wasn't really serving me, because the mindset was like, I got to help. It was like really like my last relationship was really me working out. Like what I got so clear of the last 4 years was this bond with my mom, and that yearning to still rescue my mother.
Yes.
And once that started to illuminate, it was like, whoa, that was when I exited that relationship. And I was like, I realized like I got to stop rescuing my mom. Like, it's wasting my energy, it's wasting my life. And I'm not being loved, respected, or appreciated. And I'm just praying for that person. What can I do better? Getting help, getting support, like trying to fix me. And none of that's changing over there. It's just, so I really relate to what you're saying.
Exactly. I'm going to do a live later today on how to know if you're in a toxic relationship. And one of the things that people don't know is if you're always working on yourself to be better at dealing with the toxic person all the time. It's like,
wow.
John Maxwell tells this great story. I use it all the time about when you're clearing a jungle and there's a bunch of producers that are hacking away at the brush. And then like they're toiling and sweating, and the managers are behind them, like writing, like teaching them how to hack the bush better, you know, and how to do a better job. And then the supervisors are managing the managers and telling them how to be more efficient. But the leader climbs the tallest tree in the jungle, surveys the land and goes, wrong jungle.
Wow.
And that's what people are in, right? They're in the wrong jungle. Like they don't even realize that they're hacking away at brush that's not theirs to chop down. You know.
So wow, that brings up how do I question this? So if a person, so are you saying then that, like, if you find yourself working on yourself a lot, that there's a possibility, maybe not a definite, I don't know, you say, but like that the person that you're with has either some unresolved issues, or that, you know, that you know, like, there's something there for them to work out that they haven't worked out, but then you find yourself in that relationship and then you start taking it on like it's there must be something wrong with me.
Like I need to work on myself so I can get better at changing you. Yeah. I need to work better at my state management. Like there are people that listen to motivational tapes every morning, and they want to get the right strategy to get them in the right state to go into work, right? And every morning they work on themselves even more, and now they have a morning routine. They get up in the morning, they're giving the pep talk, they're getting on the rebounder, man, they're jumping up and down, they're getting all psyched in, they're going in and their routine, and they're getting more and more research on how to get a better routine. And they don't want to go to work anymore. That place is what's toxic. But they're spending all their time researching how to be motivated to go into that toxic place. That's the wrong jungle. The wrong jungle is jumping on the rebounder. The right jungle is get a new job, get a new thing where you don't have to effort that much. It shouldn't be that hard.
Really love that.
It really shouldn't be that hard. But we're a society that values hard. We value like crush it, kill it, sweat, toil. And I think that you and I and the universe wants us to enjoy the path of least resistance. And that's really the path we should be following.
I love that.
That's how water flows. It always takes the path of least resistance. It always gets the job done. It always goes to where it needs to go. You know?
Wow. Really wonderful. So, you know, we're getting to like the last few minutes here. And so I want to see, you know, how would someone get in touch with you who wants to work with you? What's your process for doing that? Where would they go? They want to have a conversation with you.
I only really want to work with people that I can be successful for. So although I have a couple things that people can sign up for, like on my site, there's some things they can participate in, but to work one-on-one, the best thing is just to book a complimentary call. And so there'll be a little like spinning picture at lovecoachheidi.com that'll come up, and it'll say, book your complimentary consultation, and just get on the phone for a few minutes and see kind of what their particular issue is. And so if I'm not able to help, I can certainly point people in the right direction. But that's what that process is about, is finding that out.
Got it. So lovecoachheidi.com. And from there, they can book a complimentary call to explore the situation with you.
Yeah. And
create a connection with you.
Path is best. If I'm the path, if not, I'll put them on the path.
Really awesome. So great. I'm just going to encourage everybody who's watching, if you heard something in what Heidi's sharing and feel that maybe she has some light to shed upon your situation and can help you take those steps that will lead to self-love, acceptance, and empowerment, and really choosing the path that's, you know, sounds like freedom and ease and flow, then, you know, go to lovecoachheidi.com and book that complimentary call. Connect with her. I'm delighted to be connecting with you right now and just be in the listening of what you're sharing, what you've been doing, your own personal transformation as well, and what you've broken through inside of yourself, and the discoveries that you're now utilizing to help others. You're an awesome person to have on this show, Purpose and Power Talks, Conversations on Transformation. This has definitely been an awesome conversation on transformation so far. Is there anything else you want to leave anyone who's watching with from your heart to theirs?
Not everybody's ready to take the leap, because that's scary sometimes to want to change. And so we're going to date, right? And I don't want you to marry me right away. So I just want to encourage and invite people. I have videos that I do constantly where they can come get to know me a little bit better, and we can start to, get to know each other a little bit better. So I'd encourage them to come, like Heidi Rain Coaching, and come hang out and let's get to know each other a little bit better and see what I have to offer you. I'm confident that that I'll be able to turn the floodlight on.
The floodlight on, yeah. Right. Yeah, I get that. Not everybody wants that much light too quickly. It can be a little scary. It's like, I haven't gone in my basement for years, and let me just go in gently. Like all of a sudden you turn all the lights on, you're like, oh my God, the mess, right? It can seem overwhelming, but it's really not. I mean, it's like to be an encouragement. It's like when you have support, and someone like you working with them, and I'm a coach, I work with people, so I know, like, when there's support there and the right person's there supporting you through the process, it actually is just, it's a relief.
Yeah.
It's far from, there's challenges, there's discomforts, no doubt about it, but it's, you might hit a discomfort, but then there's a breakthrough and there's relief. And then maybe another discomfort, but then there's a breakthrough and greater relief. And so it's like a progression of relief, I would say. And so I just want to encourage people who might be concerned. But checking out your videos, sounds like Facebook. Do you have a YouTube channel that people could subscribe to as well?
Mm-hmm. They can find all that through the Facebook. Yeah.
Yeah, so look for you, Heidi Rain Love Coaching. How did you say it?
Just if they Google Heidi Rain, it will all come up.
Heidi Rain, R-A-I-N.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think R-E-I-G-N, like Heidi Rain, is like a queen, right, on her throne. Okay, cool. I think this is really awesome. I really love the opportunity to dig in here with you. Is there maybe another little bit of wisdom or insight you'd like to share around relationships that viewers can really benefit from as like a last?
I think if you're sitting here and you're listening and you're thinking to yourself, I wonder if my relationship fits into this. Like, I wonder if that situation is not good for me, or I wonder if there's something I'm tolerating or settling for. The answer is yes. So if you're questioning it at all, if you're having that little inclination, that's your intuition. That's like a feather, a brick, and a bus. So if we're talking today and you have a little feather, right? You have a little like, man, that kind of makes sense. Now's the time to be obedient to that call within you that says, I feel like she's talking to me. Heed that call, because what's coming next is a brick. And that's going to continue to get a little worse. And then after that is a bus where you get blindsided. But nobody really gets blindsided. The feather is the calling. That's your intuition calling you, that led you here to this video. Nothing is by accident. If you're watching this today, is divine appointment that we are all together today. And you're listening to my particular offerings that I'm giving you. So I'm talking to you. If you even have a slight idea, that's the gospel. You can bank it. It is divine appointment that we're all here. And so do the next thing, whether that's friend me, whether that's, send me a private message, whether that's go to Heidi Rain and schedule that consultation. This is divine appointment. I am talking to you. So I just want to encourage you to heed the call and take the next step. Really beautiful.
So thank you, Heidi, for sharing that. I definitely encourage people to get in touch with Heidi, get connected to her on Facebook. This is Purpose and Power Talks, Conversations on Transformation with Heidi McGuirk, love and relationship coach. And I think I've been blown away. I love your insights, very laser focused and pointed. Wisdom that I have tasted myself in my own life experience. So I can confirm the value that you're bringing. And it's just a real delight and a pleasure to have you here. Thank you. Look forward to being in creation more with you. And I'm glad that we get to expand this conversation into the world together. Thank you, Heidi. Okay. Awesome.